Knights Tour 4. Luke, my boy, take a look at this one. We had to look up the last one, so this, might not be promising. But I can sit here for a little bit. Number 150. Lead the night on a trip around the board below. No, that's still possible. It's gonna take a bit of dancing, though. Yep. Let's get a hint. What do these say? This board is 8 spaces by 8 spaces, just like a regular chessboard. That means this puzzle is just like the original Knight's Tour. There are no hints to be had here. Just work it out on your own. But I don't wanna. Knight's Tour usually involves returning the knight to the starting space at the end of the tour. If you're trying to accomplish this, then choosing the correct starting space is very important. Why not use the memo function to help you? That's true. I could just drown the memo in L-shapes. There are many avid chess researchers in Europe and the US who write detailed papers with elegant solutions to chess puzzles. Looking through resources is one more way of enjoying a chess puzzle. Alright, we'll try drawing things. That is an actual pen. Let's not put that on the tablet. There, that would be bad. Alright. Now we're there. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm already confused. Give it one more try. Okay. Let's see what we can do. One more time. From the top. So many screenshots. Okay, coming up to where I messed up. Want to go here. And then here. Right? Then we get the 2. And you go up. And then we go back down over here. And then we go down over here. And then we go over here. Okay, hang on. Don't skip ahead, eyes. And we go down here. And then we go left or right. We go left. And then we go left. We go right. Here. Up. Left or right. Gotta go right. And here. Here. I don't think I can screw up. Okay, hang on. I could very much. Gotta go down. And then up. And then up. Okay.
Here goes. That was almost too easy.
The people who can just do that in their brain. Wonderful. That's, yeah, wonderful. It's wonderful they can do that in their brain. Wonderful. I knew you could do it. With the help from the internet, Layton's challenges, the Puzzle Doctor's house has been added to your map. Back up. The Puzzle Doctor, Dr. Schrader. Colin's score. Why don't you give this one a go? 151. Colin's score. I'm seeing numbers and letters. Looks like a Mario Party game. B, 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 A, B, A, B, 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 A, B. Okay. 4 students took a test where every question had 2 possible answers, A or B. Each question was worth 10 points, for a total of 100 points. The students' test results were posted as seen below, but the teacher forgot to tally Colin's score. Colin was heading to the teacher's office when Mary called him back, saying they could figure out his score using the results from others' tests. Can you figure out Colin's score? First off, Mary, because let the teacher do it. We can grade your paper for you, Colin. I'd be like, no, I'd rather you didn't. Okay, this sounds like something I can do, but let's see. Okay, so it's one of those, like, if true, then... So, how many matches we got? We got 1, 2, 3. There's 3 between Dan and Mary. Hang on. 3, 4. There's 4 matches between Dan and Mary. We'll use Mary and Lisa right here, and then Dan and Lisa right here. Okay. We'll put it maybe over here. Okay. B, B. Okay, got 1 match there. B, A. Ba, ba. Don't be a sheep, Colin. Alright, let's see. Okay, this is where I bring out my paper for this, because I'm like, well, I don't want to erase the numbers or the tally marks I've made on the screen, because that is helpful when I remember who it is I'm tallying. Okay. I'm wondering how this would go if we just make the assumption that he got 100%, and then I try to disprove that by connecting how many matches he and the others have, you know? We'll see what happens. Okay. I'm starting to get really confused. as I do. So they all have 4 matching, right? But if Lisa only got 30% and Mary got 70, that means that one of those that they all guessed is wrong. So that means at max Colin could have 90, and that's what I'm gonna go with. Because that's what I'm gonna go with, you know? Because I was like, yeah, you'd have 100%. And I'm like, no, I do think they want to kind of have you think a little bit. So if it's just that because there's 4 overlapping and Lisa only got 30, then one of those questions is wrong. That all of them got wrong, right? Right. So we'll just go with 90.
Just leave it to me.
And I am wrong.
Oops, that wasn't right.
This puzzle's a tough one. I know I need to narrow down the conditions. But at this point, I think it's either 80 or 90. Unless he got all of them wrong. You know, the opposite side here. Hang on. This one is tough. They are not lying. And my tally marks on the screen are now gone. Okay. This is a hard puzzle, so maybe this hint will help. The first thing you need to do is create an answer key based on the 3 scores tested. Since Mary got the highest score, try creating a key that compares her answers to everyone else. Yes, got that part. The 3 graded tests agree on 4 questions. However, you know that not all 4 of these are correct because Lisa only got a score of 30. You also know that not all of these agreed answers are incorrect because Mary had a score of 70. You can make multiple answer keys that will all yield the same results. As long as you find one of these keys, you can solve this puzzle. Yes. Yes, I know. It's 60? Because it's like, you got the 4 intersection, there's the 4 things where everybody got it, right? But one of them's a lie. So, you go 30, and then you check where the other overlaps between hers and his are that aren't the ones where she failed. Hang on. Well, no. We're gonna go 60. You know? Either 60 or 40.
Let's see if this works.
Right? I don't know how I got here. You know? Where you're like, there are numbers popping up. I don't know if that's the answer or if that's the opposite of the answer. Yeah. A+. An A+ for you, that is. Unfortunately for Colin, his score was 60 points. Based on the results from the 3 scored tests, you could come up with 4 possible answer keys labeled here as A through D. No matter which one you use, Colin's score is 60. Yeah, like this hurts my brain. Alice is upset. Understandably so. Yeah. Huh, okay. That hurt my brain. Here we go. That was only puzzle number 1. Here we go. That's the way, Luke. Good job. What is this voice? The card tournament. Look, have a look at this puzzle. 152. Some people meet for a round-robin card tournament where every person plays every other person once. Wallace has to leave after only a few hands, sitting out the remainder of the tournament. A total of 59 hands are played at the tournament. How many hands did Wallace play before leaving? The card game in question is a 2-player game, and no person played with the same opponent more than once. No one sat out any hands besides Wallace. We're looking at hints. Mock up an equation with the number of people and the number of matches played as variables. That would be a good place to start. It would. Yeah. In order to create the equation for the number of hands, you would need to multiply the number of players by the number of players minus 1, then divide this product by 2. You've already lost me. If there were 3 people, there would have been 3 hands. If there were 4 people, there would have been 6 hands. You can assume from the conditions given that if no one left, the minimum number of hands would still have to be at least 60. Uh-huh. There were 12 people at the tournament. Now, think it through. Oh, okay. See, I'm like, what do you mean? When you say hands, you know? I figure that's a round. Okay, alright, okay. I don't know. Is it gonna help? Who knows? Okay, I'm getting 7 when I'm like, it's a very small thing that I've done, and if I cared to, I'd draw out more of, all of the options of that. Gonna go with 7.
Just leave it to me.
No, that's not right.
Oops, that wasn't right.
This is a calculation problem, but it does take some ingenuity to solve. Yes. Yeah. Okay, I've written everything out. It should be that he played 8 hands, and if it's not, I don't know, and we're looking up the answer.
Just leave it to me. Oops, that wasn't right.
But I wrote everything out. I could never schedule an event. I'll be like, and this is how it's gonna work. And they're like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, well, yeah, it probably doesn't. But I wrote it out, and it's there. Okay, it's half of 8. It's 4. I don't know where I went wrong.
Let's see if this works.
but like usual,
Piece of cake.
probably somewhere in there. That's how it went wrong. Okay. Nice job. Wallace played 4 hands. First, you need to find the total number of hands if everyone stayed. You can find it with an equation like the one here. If there were 11 people, there would have been 55 matches, and if there were 12 people, there would have been 66. Since we know 59 hands were played, there must have been 12 people at the start. When we subtract the 59 hands played from the 66 ideal, we learn that Wallace missed 7 hands. Since everyone would have played 11 hands ideally, that means that Wallace only played 4 hands. Sure. Yeah, that's not what I wrote. What I wrote was basically 1 versus 12, 1 versus 11, 1 versus 10, 1 versus 9. You know, that kind of thing all the way down, and like taking it down a number instead of like once you get to the 2 row, you then get rid of 2 versus 1 because they already had their game and that that would be them playing again, and you get rid of that. Anyways, so you do that a whole bunch, and then you count down 59, and then after that you count the remaining hands, and that would be how many hands Wallace played. And that's not how you do that, kids. That's not how you do that. You do whatever this is up here, and you just know. You just math right. And that's, yeah. Very nice, Luke. I knew you could do it. The diabolical box. Yeah, try this one, Luke. Number 153. It's a sliding puzzle? This last puzzle is an escape game where you need to move the pink gem to the circle outline at the bottom. Beware though, because this diabolical box won't let you escape so easily. I'm not thinking it's gonna be easy. This sounds like it's gonna be a bad time. That's a bad time. Yeah, like that's gonna have to stay on that side, isn't it? Ha. Off to a good start. Alright. It's gonna be a big one. The difficulty of this puzzle is truly diabolical. There is no easy to find solution. You just have to find ways to fit the blocks together to open up a little bit of space at a time. Yeah. Can't move the gem at all at first. You should focus initially on making room for the gem to move. Here's one small hint. Move the yellow vertical bar to the top half of the puzzle. Okay. Here's your last hint. You never have to move the cross-shaped piece any farther right than the center of the puzzle. In other words, the gem has to move clockwise through the puzzle. Stick with it.
Let's see if this works. Piece of cake.
Yeah, we had to look that one up. I was like, I am missing something big here. And by missing, I mean I wasn't missing the piece I needed to be missing. Wonderful. One well-known solution to this puzzle uses 78 moves. How many did it take you? A lot of moves. So many moves. Commendable job, Luke. That was some sharp thinking. Congratulations, you successfully solved every puzzle available in Professor Layton in the Diabolical box. New puzzles will become available through the Nintendo Work from Computer. You're like, that's not what that means. So if you haven't checked them out yet, make sure you do. So happy. Who's catching who? Who's throwing who? How did they jumped and they threw him at the same time. And with that, it seems you've completed every puzzle in the game. Congratulations. It's clear that you possess an aptitude and passion for puzzle solving that is equal to my own.
Look, Professor, a new page of characters has been unlocked in the profile section.
I don't know what that means, Luke, but good job. At least it has, Luke. That's a gift from us to our friend, the player.
You heard the Professor. Have fun with those. You cheater! You awful, awful cheat!
Look, Luke. Yes. Top secret. Movies. I was punching the microphone. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, that's right. We're still getting picarets from stuff. So this part here is not locked anymore. Yeah, let's read some profiles. Professor Layton. His two passions are solving puzzles and enjoying a good cup of tea. While his job is teaching archaeology, he is also quite the fencer. Many wonder what's under the hat, but only the professor knows the answer to that mystery. Luke. As the self-proclaimed apprentice of the professor, Luke is generally sweet and earnest, but, like all boys his age, can occasionally let out a cheeky comment. His unique way with animals has come in handy more than once. Flora. The only daughter from a wealthy family, Flora follows Luke and Layton onto the Military Express. In her free time, she likes cooking, though most of her efforts in the kitchen have the unfortunate effect of turning stomachs. Inspector Chelmy. The mere mention of Inspector Chelmy leaves London criminals shaking in their boots, though his reputation may slightly overstate his actual skills. After wrapping up a case, he loves celebrating with his beloved wife's sweet potato fritters. Don Paolo. A brilliant scientist who believes himself to be Layton's arch-nemesis. Don Paolo disguises himself as Flora to gain access to information and to wreak general havoc. Unbeknownst to Layton, Don Paolo also studied under Dr. Schrader. Dr. Schrader. After opening the box, the doctor falls into a coma so deep even the inspector believes him to be deceased. Luckily, this proves not to be the case, and his subsequent recovery is sure to be documented in medical journals for years to come. Anton. Though rumored to be a vampire, Anton is actually the current Duke of Fullsense. 50 years ago, Anton was separated from his love, Sophia, a blow from which he never truly recovered. He is also the elder brother of Beluga. Katya. Katya is the daughter of Dropstone's Mr. Anderson, though the two haven't been getting along recently. Katya goes to Fullsense to deliver a message from her grandmother, Sophia, to Anton, her grandfather. Sophia. Sophia was Katya's grandmother and Anton's former fiancé. In order to protect the child growing inside her, she left behind her life in Fullsense to start fresh in the fledgling village of Dropstone. Kind and honest, she was loved by all. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson is a prominent and beloved figure in Dropstone, as well as Katya's father. A gentle soul, he has recently been fretting about the growing divide between himself and his daughter. Beluga. Beluga is the demanding owner and founder of the Military Express. He chases after the Elysian box in the hopes it will lead him to the Hertzen family fortune, which he believes he is entitled to as a son of the former Duke and brother to Anton. Sammy Thunder. Beluga's nephew, Sammy, only has one thing on his mind: pedal to the metal rock and roll. By day, he's just a normal train conductor, but once he grips the mic, he transforms into his wild rock star alter ego, Sammy Thunder. Macaroon. Macaroon is the chef on the Military Express. While quite trim in his younger days, years of testing his own dishes have rounded him out. His food is so good that many people ride the Military Express just to experience his magic. Chester. Peek into Military Express's dining car and you're likely to see Chester, server and host extraordinaire. His commitment to catering to customers' needs contributes to the Military Express's lavish reputation. It's hard to read. Babette. Babette is the pompous wife of a moneyed man. Her aim in life is to make everyone around her know that she deserves special treatment. A longtime fan of the Military Express dining car, she can often be spotted there coddling her dog, Tom. Tom. This petite canine is the beloved pet of Babette. Raised in the lap of luxury, Tom often gets up to mischief, causing trouble for those around him. Despite being the apple of Babette's eye, he doesn't seem very fond of her. Iana. Iana works at the Full Sense Cabaret, one of Beluga's favorite places to unwind. Beluga has quite a soft spot for her and often buys her ugly but lavish presents, so she makes some money on the side selling these baubles to the antique shop. Jeff. High in the watchtower, Jeff keeps an eye fixed on Hertzen Castle for any signs of vampire activity. Even among the eclectic folks living in Full Sense, Jeff is considered an oddball. Some say that fighting evil is his way of trying to impress Iana. Garland. This town grocer fears vampires so much that he smothered his shop in garlic. The reek of his place has already driven a number of patrons elsewhere, yet the amount of garlic in his store only seems to increase day by day. Nigel. Though sinister looking, the Hertzen family's butler is actually quite kind. With no other servants currently employed in the castle, Nigel is constantly busy. In his spare time, he unwinds by scrubbing the castle's bathtubs. Jacques. Jacques is the patient butler to the Anderson family, which means he knows the family's history as well as its secrets. One of his main tasks is watching after young Katia. He rallies the servants to give her a warm send-off. Barton. Despite his appearance, Inspector Chelmey's assistant, Constable Barton, is a mere 27 years old. Though he's often hard to read, Barton is actually extremely adept at covering for his supervisor's occasional oversights. Grousley. Grousley is one of the many passengers on the Military Express. While he may not look the part, the eccentric Grousley is actually a very well-to-do artist and friend of Beluga's. He gets inspiration from the natural scenery visible on train rides. Hank. As the mechanic on the Military Express, it's Hank's job to fix whatever breaks. Besides having a soft spot for animals and candy, he's dedicated to researching new methods for keeping his trademark pompadour as gravity-defying as ever. Capone. There's something childlike and scattered about Capone, as is illustrated by the bewildering things he says to Layton and Luke when Tom disappears. As unbelievable as it sounds, Capone is actually a CEO of a big corporation. Mitzi. Mitzi is Capone's chatty wife. Though she enjoys contradicting Capone, the couple are so sweet with each other that they've been known to drive people away with their public displays with their public displays of affection. Lily. This precocious girl is traveling by herself to visit her grandmother. For her age, Lily has a very adult way of thinking and can seem startlingly mature at times. Her charm has earned her a spot in the hearts of many of the train's employees. Sally. Sally has dreams of big city life, but for now she just pushes the snack cart in the Military Express, offering a bevy of appetizing snacks to disinterested train patrons. She can often be found trading quips with her buddy Hank. Marjorie, who I don't think we ever saw in the game. My bad. By day, Marjorie works as a teacher in Dropstone, as you might have guessed from her good nature and sensible shoes. At night, Marjorie lets loose by writing a popular series of mystery novels. Conrad. Conrad is a college student originally from Dropstone. His role model is Marjorie, and he emulates her in every way possible. He claims to enjoy reading anything he can get his hands on, but this may just be something he heard Marjorie say. Carla. Carla is a wealthy woman with a burning desire to see every inch of the globe. Unfortunately, she's also deathly afraid of flying and plastic cutlery, which is why she only travels by luxury train. Rami. Rami? One of the two. This rambling, big-hearted adventurer travels the globe in an attempt to shed light on many of the world's unsolved mysteries. Romy also travels with a huge backpack that's said to hold the 7 tools necessary for globe-trotting. Dorothea. One of the many servants in the Anderson house, Dorothea's main duties involve looking after Katya, though the two are actually close in age. Perhaps it's this closeness in age that causes Katya to turn to Dorothea when she wants to talk. Clabber. Clabber's a dairy farmer and breeder of fine cattle. Considering how proud he is of his own livestock, he has a surprisingly hard time telling his cows apart from those of other farmers. Oscar. Oscar is a dairy farmer who raises all his cows with affection and tenderness, yet for some reason, many of his best cows dislike him. Even so, Oscar takes such good care of them that they all have lustrous coats worthy of blue ribbons. Nick. Layton and Luke meet Nick at the livestock competition, where he tells them about an influential figure in Dropstone. He loves chatting with whomever he can find, so he often plays tour guide to unsuspecting visitors. Where am I? Gabe. Gabe knows his way around a kitchen and is the best chef in all of Dropstone. His creations are so delicious, in fact, that people throw parties just so he'll cater them. He's also a loving husband to Balsa. Balsa. You may have met Balsa in Dropstone, where she was probably building something. A hardy woman who enjoys physical labor, she lets her husband Gabe do most of the cooking. For his birthday, she built a display case for his ramekin collection, which is a type of bowl? I think it's a bowl. Wurtzer. Did we? We probably talked to Wurtzer, I just don't remember him. Wurtzer is a warm gentleman whose way with words and companionable nature make him the perfect conversation partner. When Mr. Anderson feels down and wants to talk to someone, he often seeks out Wurtzer. Lopez. Lopez is Dropstone's resident fashionista, and he constantly feels the need to analyze the fashion choices of others. Ironically, though, most of what he wears is decidedly unexciting and average. He's most critical of people's hat choices. Laurel. Laurel is an elderly farmer who tells Luke and Layton all about brewing tea. She has her own herb garden where she grows many tea ingredients. She can often be found cooing over her pet bird, whose name, incidentally, is Tweets. Parcel. This bold mail carrier is based in Dropstone, but fearlessly delivers letters as far away as Full Sense. Parcel is known for his positive attitude and dedication to the job. His motto is, delivering smiles one letter at a time. Lulu. Lulu's carefree nature sometimes makes her seem a bit off. On the surface, she seems to be the polar opposite of her brother, Angus, but the two actually spend weeks planning and building their festival booths together. Albert. Albert believes himself to be an expert in all things Dropstone, but he hasn't caught on to the truth behind Dropstone's beginnings. Albert dreams of one day becoming a teacher or a professional Dropstone trivia nerd. Madeline. Madeline can be hard to read. One minute she's warm and friendly, the next minute she's irritated and ranting. It is this dual nature that makes her so unpredictable and alluring to more than a few men in the village. Girl, I just don't know what I'm going to get with you. And there's a lot of people. Oh my gosh. Got at least 3 pages, okay. Right? Yeah, okay. Remy. Remy works as a guard at Mr. Anderson's mansion, though few people ever come by. Therefore, Remy usually spends his days asleep on his feet at his post. Few people are as good as Remy at multitasking while asleep. Angus. Angus maintains several of the carnival booths in Dropstone. He loves seeing his customers smile, but because his focus is always on the customer, he rarely turns a profit. At least he'll always have the adoration of the village children. Kostya. Kostya is an elderly man who was around at the founding of Dropstone and has lived there ever since. Before that, he lived in Full Sense, and because of that, talk of curses and monsters tend to make him a little jumpy. Dogi. Until it closed, Dogi worked in the Full Sense mine where he spent long hours excavating precious metals. The rumor in Full Sense is Joni has Dogi in the palm of her hand and he'd bend over backward to make her happy. There. Joseph. Joseph runs the photo studio in Full Sense and loves to play pranks on his customers. Because of his penchant for mischief, some of the townsfolk consider him to be a bit of a fibber, But he has no interest in lying to anyone. He just likes a good prank. It's just a prank, bro. Rory. Rory's the youth you may have seen standing outside Full Sense Station all day long. Though he seems like a slacker, he's just a guy who's been waiting outside the station for his girlfriend to return for a very long time. Oh no, Rory. Lila. Everyone in Full Sense knows Lila's distinctive tee-hee-hee. Her curious nature and love of rumors make her a great source of town gossip. Lila also has poor circulation and often suffers from the chills. Damon. Did we meet Damon? Okay. I guess so. Damon's the hip kid who teaches you about hint coins on a corner in London. Ah, okay. Well, there you go. Though everything from his hair to his jacket exudes street cred, for all we know, he could very well be from the suburbs. Just a kid like you. Felix. Felix works the door at one of Full Sense's chicest restaurants. Felix strictly enforces the restaurant's no-hat policy, but the irony of the situation is that Felix actually has the most extensive hat collection in Full Sense. Are you taking the hats? Are you taking people's hats, Felix? Niles. Niles is just a regular kid who likes to play, but almost everyone left in Full Sense is an adult. Since he has no one to play with, poor Niles just gobbles bell tart seeds till his fingers turn orange. Duke is his older brother. Oh, yeah, Duke and Luke. Not Duke and Luke. Duke and Niles look pretty similar. Duke. Though it can seem like Duke talks down to people, it's actually just the unfortunate way he holds his face that makes him seem that way. His softer side comes out when he's with his little brother Niles. Hopper. Fun-loving and spiky-haired Hopper is always out to have a good time. Because of this, he's a walking guidebook of Full Sense's hotspots and restaurants. Recently, though, he's been having trouble keeping up with his party boy lifestyle. Olsen. Olsen doesn't draw much attention from people, and he isn't much for cracking a joke. His eyesight is so bad that even with his glasses on, the illusion of Full Sense could melt away and Olsen wouldn't notice any difference. So is Olsen real? I don't know. When the castle fell, maybe we were far enough from the quote-unquote town that the people in the town were in the... I don't know, man. I don't know how it works. Derby. Derby is one of those rare townsfolk who moved into Full Sense. He's aware of the town's strange nature, but appears to be so happy that he doesn't talk about the odd happenings very often. Apparently living in a ghost town suits him. Okay, so all the people are real? But the town's just dead. I don't quite know how that works, but alright. Okay. Dawson. Dawson runs the antique shop in town and gets most excited over items with historical meaning or personal stories to them. Items whose only significance is their monetary value aren't very impressive to him. Joni. Joni's a sweet little girl with a penchant for being straight with people. Her fearless attitude has made her very popular with the tougher crowd up in the northeast part of town. She loves all things cute. Grants. Grants works the front desk at the Full Sense Hotel and has many fond memories of the Hertzen family. Over the years, all of the hotel staff fled Full Sense, leaving Grants to run the whole operation by himself. Grinko. Grinko's main job is Hertzen Museum curator, but his employer Beluga often sends him around town to sniff out leads on the Elysian box. Grinko is one of the few people in town who fully comprehends many of the town's secrets. Marina. Marina is the daughter of the garlic-crazed grocer Garland. If you ever doubt the two are related, just take a whiff of the cookies she carries around with her. They, too, smell of garlic. Opal. One of the few remaining members of Full Sense's aristocracy, Opal lives in the lap of luxury on the north side of town with her husband. She secretly dreams of having a simpler life, which is why she sewed her favorite yellow dress herself. Where? Oh, here. Ray. Ray hangs out on the edge of town at night wearing his sunglasses. He enjoys looking like a tough guy, but when the glasses come off, he gets so shy that he can't even walk across the street alone. Gregorio. There have been many chess fans throughout history, but few love chess like Gregorio. His love for chess extends to the decor of his house, which naturally consists of alternating pieces of black and white furniture. Nerisse. Nerisse is always out chasing the latest report of paranormal activity. Nothing thrills her more than sitting quietly in the latest ghost spotting site, waiting for something creepy to drift by. Gertie. If you're craving pancakes in full sense, visit Gertie. The pancakes from her griddle consistently score full points on taste, but never seem to come out the same size, much to her chagrin. Stash and Scarfin. Why, it's our old friend Mr. Stash and Scarfin. Where'd he come from? He has a strange habit of suddenly appearing, only to vanish moments later. Where he'll show up tomorrow is as much a mystery as his identity. Pavel. A man of contradictions, Pavel is a fearless adventurer with no sense of direction. He was on his way to Egypt when he somehow ended up in Full Sense. He has a talent for getting into forbidding places, but he has no clue how he does it. Granny Riddleton. The patron saint of lost puzzles everywhere, Granny Riddleton has the uncanny ability to hold puzzles that Luke and Layton didn't grab on their adventure. She's never without her trademark hat and tiny shack where she keeps the lost puzzles. Hamster Barnaby. With Luke's help, this little guy managed to get in shape. However, the mountain of delectable food scraps back at home proved to be too much temptation, and upon returning to the train, the poor hamster returned to his old sedentary ways. Precious. Precious guards the path of the northeast part of Full Sense. He's very wary of strangers, but is by no means an aggressive dog. In fact, he warms up to you awfully quickly if you bring him a snack. Momentary Express. The Momentary Express is owned by railroad tycoon Beluga. It's famous for its luxury, earning it the title of the world's only cruise ship on rails. Just a few passengers know that it also travels a secret second route that takes it to Full Sense. Puzzle Guy number 1. Puzzle Guy 1 livens up puzzles with his endless energy and dashing mustache. Back in the day, he was quite athletic and popular with the ladies. He's put on a few pounds since then, but still knows how to add flair to puzzles with his athletic pose. Puzzle Guy 2, famous for his bushy beard. Puzzle Guy 2 is considered the poster boy for all the members of the puzzle troupe. He is an accomplished entertainer capable of many different feats. You'll rarely spot him without his push broom and other props. Puzzle Guy 3. Puzzle Guy 3 is a middle-aged gent who believes you don't need to stand out to do a great job. The skill he brings to his craft makes other puzzle guys and gals look up to him like a father. Besides puzzles, his other passion is napping. Yeah, I know. Puzzle Guy 4. The identity of this puzzle guy is shrouded in mystery. Some whisper that he secretly rules over puzzles. Some whisper that he secretly rules over puzzles from the shadows, though no one is certain. Puzzle Guy 4 is extremely intelligent and can best almost anyone at a battle of wits. Puzzle Guy 5 believes his best feature is his dapper little mustache. While he is not as skilled yet as some of the other puzzle guys and gals, he has the market cornered when it comes to dedication. No one tackles puzzles with his kind of positivity. Puzzle Gal 1 is all about sporting the hottest looks and staying up with the latest trends. One such trend is telling people to talk to the hand, which has been her new thing as of late. I don't know if I've ever seriously said that to someone. Talk to the hand. Puzzle Gal 2 has a devilish nature and is great at convincing people to do stuff for her. Despite this, no one can seem to get mad at her. Perhaps she should consider a career in diplomacy. Puzzle Gal 3 is the most dependable of the bunch and organizes things in the puzzle actor community. In the future, she'd like to be a music teacher, but there's a slight hole in her plan. The poor thing can't carry a tune in a bucket. Puzzle Gal 4 has a single unfortunate habit of inserting herself into every conversation around her. Some people see her as nosy, but she only gets into people's business to be friendly. Puzzle Gal 5. In a sea of oddballs, Puzzle Gal 5 stands out as decidedly normal. She's good at having fun in almost every situation, no matter how mundane. As for her best feature, she considers that to be her snobby taste in accessories. Flora Incognito. Flora must have thought a scarf and sunglasses would be enough to disguise her identity. Of course, anyone who knows her should have recognized her in an instant, but for some strange reason, neither Luke nor Layton saw through her disguise. Swap those names, neither Layton nor Luke saw through her disguise. Don Flora! Don't be fooled. While this may look like Flora, this is actually Don Paolo in another of his masterful disguises. He swapped places with the real Flora to spy on Luke and Layton. He's such a master of mimicry that he's even got her walk down pat. Duke Herzen. Duke Herzen is Anton and Beluga's father, as well as the man who discovered Volsense's gold deposit and made the town rich. Unyielding and stubborn, he never got along well with his sons, but he was only trying to do what he thought was best. Winston. Did we? I don't think we saw Winston. Winston is the Anderson family's devoted chauffeur. While seeing her off on her journey to Volsense, one wonders if he felt a twinge of jealousy, however irrational, at Kadia's decision to travel by rail instead of by car. I could drive you! The Layton Mobile. Layton's pride and joy is an ode to classic design made of shiny red metal. He keeps the car in tip-top shape, so it looks great whenever he takes it out to solve a new mystery. Its tall roof affords Layton the headroom he needs to drive with his hat on. And that's that. That's all that. Art. The Good Doctor. Dr. Schrader pens a letter to his friend and former pupil, Professor Layton. It took Luke only a few moments to find the suspect escape path. Judging by his expression, Chelmy seems quite impressed as well. All kinds of delicacies surround Chef Macaron's pet hamster. It's no wonder he eats so much. Yeah. An unknown girl bumps into Luke and Layton on the train. They must have been distracted because that disguise isn't fooling anyone. Here's the award. Here's the winning cow of the livestock competition at Dropstone's 50th anniversary festival with her proud owner. Chelmy makes a lot of mistakes, but this one takes the cake. Even Barton can't hide his feelings this time. Oh my gosh. Luke and Precious take a moment to make nice with each other. Isn't it amazing how animals take to him? Woof. Who can blame Precious for pigging out on such a plump, juicy roast? Oh, he looks so happy. A young Katya plays on a sunny day in Dropstone. The woman playing with her should be familiar to you as well. Oh, well, there's the driver. There's the driver there. There's the dad, and then, yeah, Jock. Sophia and Anton gaze lovingly into each other's eyes at a ball held in Herzen Castle back when Volsense was full of life and light. Nice. I think that was Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box. Which again, really good. I will put the scores up on how I did on the first game and how I did on this game. I feel like it's probably because I took a giant break, like a month break between starting this and finishing this, but this one felt a lot shorter. I'm not sure which game made me feel stupider. I'm gonna have to go with this one, I think, but that might just be like recency bias. I might have felt stupider playing the first one, but it's tough to say, again. I can't wait to play the third one, though. I love these games. They're so good. I hope you'll join me next time. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day. God bless and take care.